Greetings. My name is Ann Shapiro. I'm the Executive Director of the Connecticut Storytelling Center. And today I'm talking to Robin Moore, who is one of the presenters for the 40th Annual Connecticut Storytelling Festival and Conference, which will be on April 23rd and 24th, 2021. So Robin is going to be giving a workshop on self-publishing. Tell us about that.
Well, thanks for having me on, Anne. So what do I want to say about this workshop? Let's start off with some good news. The good news is that the publishing world has been turned absolutely upside down in the last 10 years because of self-publishing. It used to be that if you were an author, you had to go to a mainstream publisher, you had to be accepted by the gatekeepers, and then if you were lucky enough to get in, you worked with an editor, and that's how your book got out in the world. That's not true anymore. Now, thanks to the improvements in digital technology and thanks to the worldwide book network that we now have through Amazon and other outlets, it's possible for an author to create and publish their own book, getting it out in the world before a worldwide audience. So what I'd like to do in this workshop is to show you what I consider to be the essential elements of creating, publishing, and distributing your book on your own. Now, I'm lucky. I've been in the book business for 37 years. And as I like to say, in that time, I've probably made every mistake you can make in the book business. This was the very first book that I published in 1983. It took me 7 years to write this book. Doesn't look like much work for 7 years. It's only 30,000 words. Nowadays, I'm writing a book of this length in about 90 days. So I've gotten a lot better about going into the imagination, translating the story into words, and then getting it out in the world. Now, I am living proof that this can work for a storyteller, because even though I published this book on my own, a year later, I was able to sell the publishing rights to HarperCollins, and they brought out what we call the Hollywood version of the book. This book has been in print continuously for almost 40 years. And so what I want to tell you is that self-publishing can be an end in itself, or it can be a stepping stone to mainstream publishing, if that's what you wish. So in the time we're going to be together, I want to ask you 3 questions. And I hope that these 3 questions will form the foundation of what you'll need to go ahead and publish in whatever way you want to. The first question is kind of an embarrassing one, because many first-time authors never ask themselves this. The first question is, why do you want to publish? You have to get some clarity about this. Otherwise, how are you going to make smart decisions as you go along if you don't know what you want to accomplish? So we're going to explore that a little bit in the beginning, and then we're going to move on using that as a foundation. We're going to move on to the second question. The second question is, is self-publishing for you? I'm going to go through, let me interrupt myself. I'm not saying that I have anything against mainstream publishing. In fact, publishing with mainstream traditional publishers has been really good to me. It allowed me to make a living as a children's book author. I raised 2 kids and sent them to college on these books. So I don't want to say that mainstream publishing can't be a goal for you. However, it's not an either or kind of thing. You can do both if you wish. What happened to me was I started off by self-publishing. My books were published by 3 of the 5 largest publishers in the world, HarperCollins, Random House, and Simon & Schuster. And I had a good run as a published author. But inevitably, books go out of print. When they did, the rights reverted to me, and I put them back into print through Groundhog Press, my own little publishing company. The last question, provided you're interested in self-publishing, is how do you do it? Now, I've done about 40 books with the method that I'm going to be showing you. So it's not an experiment. I know it's going to work. I've done about 20 books of my own, and then I've helped first-time authors get into print, about 20 additional books using this technique. So I'll be showing you the steps, beginning with the raw manuscript. Are you following this?
Yeah.
Because this is an amazing thing. You start off with this pile of paper and you end up with a book at the end. And so I'll show you all of the steps that we use for that. There are three main phases: editorial, book design, and publishing. And I'll show you how I do that. Now, before I sign off, Anne, I want to say one thing to the storytellers out there. And that is, I feel that storytellers have an added advantage over the ordinary author. And the reason for that is we already have stories. So I guess what I'm known for mostly is historical fiction novels for kids, but I've also done 4 story collections. And what I did was I took stories right out of my repertoire that I had honed for many years, translated them into the written word, and put them into books. So you already have stories that can be translated into some written form. We do the books in print form, as ebooks, and also, if you want, you can do them as audiobooks. That's one of the fastest growing branches of publishing right now. So I hope that after this workshop, you'll feel empowered, because someday it's going to be a knock on your door and Amazon's going to deliver a box. And you carry it in and you put it on the kitchen table and you go to the drawer and you take out a steak knife and you cut the tape and you open it up and there's your book. I wish for you that you'll have that moment. For me, it's almost as good as watching my kids come down the birth canal and out into the world. I feel, yeah, I can honestly say this. I feel that my books are my children. Like our children, we have a hand in creating them, we nurture them, and then we send them out into the world. We hope the world treats them well. So I like to say that writing without publishing is like cooking without eating. So if this is the kind of thing that appeals to you, I hope you'll take an interest in coming to our workshop. And you've made it possible for all of us to get together in the Zoomosphere. I've learned over the last year that teaching can work through this medium. So thank you so much for making all of this possible for us.
Thank you, Robin. I'm looking forward to the workshop myself. I really am. Hope to see you all there. April 24th is when Robin will be with us at the Connecticut Storytelling Festival and Conference.